Hey, welcome to a series where we look at a few games and I decide, do I shelf it or do I pass it on? Hey, I'm Ryan. Welcome to the Board Game Journey, where you be joining me to play 1,000 games. So we have 4 games we're going through today. If you add it to my previous total of 107, that brings us to 111 games played. Feels pretty good. Pretty good. So the first game we're going to be talking about is Odin. I love myself a nice small box to tell you about. But there's the game. It's the game worth keeping. Just get a small, I lie. Sometimes the small ones stick around a little bit longer because you're like, it just kind of disappears. Maybe I'll get to it, but even then, I recently got rid of Tinder blocks. Little baby game, but I was like, get out of here, Tinder blocks. I don't got time for you. So let's look at Odin. Let's go see what the game is all about. So I find with Odin, the best way to learn it's just to play a round or two openly with people. And because it's a game you're going to play several games of it, because I think it's the first to get to say 15 points. So you might end up playing 3, 4, 5 games. So playing one openly just brings the rules down, and then they're good to go. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. Before I show this example, I just want to say you're just trying to play larger numbers. If someone plays a 4, you can beat them with a 5. If someone plays a 25, you can beat them with a 35. You're just trying to play larger and larger numbers. So let's just get through the example. Just keep that in mind, because it can feel confusing with all the different colors, but I know you got this. So let's just say I go first. I play a 4. Now, the next player has to beat this 4. Now, they can beat it a couple different ways. They can just play one single card of any value that's bigger than 4, so they can't play 4, they can't tie it. Or they can play one more card than the amount of cards played. So instead of play one card, they can play 1 or 2 cards. If there was 2 cards here, they could play 2 or 3 cards. So in this case, they probably might just go with, let's say they play the 72. We'll go 72. So let's say they play the 2 greens here, and that will be 72. Now, if you play the same colored cards, you have to always play the highest of it. You couldn't play 27. You have to play 72 in this case. So they play 72. Now, the rule is you have to at least take one card that's in the middle. Now, in this case, it's only one card. They have no choice. But in this case, the next player, they can choose either the 7 or 2. So he would take the 4, which is good for them because they have one blue 1, and they don't really have other matching 1 except for 1. So that could be 41 later on. But what I didn't say is you could also play the same number across different colors. So in this case, you can play these 2 1s, the blue 1 and the pink 1, as an 11, right? And that sounds confusing. We'll a few more examples. So now he's at 72. So now he has a lot of options. He can play 2 or 3 cards. So he has 4 blue cards here. He couldn't play all 4 because that would be too many, right? He could play 3 of those blue, but he couldn't play all 4. In this case, he might want to just play the pinks. Maybe he'll play the pink ones. Because he has 1 green card, maybe he wants another green card. So let's say he plays a 742, the largest number in the pinks. He has to keep 1 green card. The other one goes away. Let's say he keeps the 7, because now he has an 8. And now that 8 gets with the 7 will be an 87 at a later turn. Now the question is, can I beat 742? So it's back to me. And right now, I don't have even 3 of the same color, so that's not an option. But what I do have is an 8, an 8, and an 8. I do have a 666 as well, but that's not large enough. So 888 is larger than 742. So boom, I can play this. And now I get to keep one of those. So in this case, I'll probably just keep the 7, the larger one. So I have a 76 in this case. Those get discarded. Back to them. Can they beat 888? Well, so I just want to play it so someone has a pass. So I don't think they can. No, they can't beat it. So they have the pass. So they just pass. Next person. Can they beat it? They're the ones that. Sorry. Can they beat it? Yes, they can. They can play their blues. They couldn't play them before, but now they can play their 7, 6, 5, 3, which is a crazy big number. And now they take 1, 8. I assume since they have a red, they'll just take the red one, right? So now they have an 87 and 82. Now it's back to me. There's no way I could beat that one. I have 3 6s. Even with 4 6s, it wouldn't work it. So now, I can't beat it. They can't beat it. It gets back to this person, and now everyone's passed. They get to discard those cards. Don't pick anything else up. Now they have to play 1 card, which kind of stinks for them, but they have to play 1 card, and the whole thing starts back over, right? It's pretty simple when you really just walk through it. I'm realizing potentially, maybe that was confusing. Just to summarize you're just trying to play larger numbers until you can't play larger numbers. That's really the big takeaway. So that is the game of Odin. It is pretty quick and it plays pretty fast. Now, if you play the instruction book way, I find that game can last a little long. So I prefer to say like, okay, we'll play it at 10 points. And how points work in this game is one person goes out in a round, everyone adds how many cards are left over in their hand. So if I had 2 cards left over, that's 2 points against me. Because points in this game are bad. You don't want points. Once someone crosses the threshold, say 10 cards, you have everyone's final score, and then whoever has the lowest score wins the game. All right, it's time for a verdict. Shelf it, pass it on. Shelf it. I think this one is a shelf it. Yeah, this is a good small box card game. I've had great success with my in-laws. I also have great successes bringing this game with me to play just with random people. It's just an easy game to teach people, and it's kind of cool too because it's not Uno, it's not Phase 10, right? So it's just a little bit something different. It's very easy for people to pick up. Like I said, that it can be, the hardest part to explain is you can have the same number, like 3 sevens across different colors, or within the same color, right? And like I said, once I play one kind of open round with people, they all pick it up. And I usually end up beating me a lot of times. So there you go. So this is Odin. I definitely, yeah. What's gonna shelf it? Next up is Tether. Did I catch it right? I did. You gotta admit, this color palette is gorgeous, for me at least. I mean, even the cards, I love everything about the look of the game. But I've been suckered to buy a game just for the looks, and I've been disappointed sometimes when you actually get to the gameplay. I don't know how this one's gonna hold up. Let's get into the details and let's figure it out. I'll say it again, these cards are gorgeous. And the nice components too, they even give you like a little score tracker here. So a little wheel that spins, keeps track of the score. Now this is a 2-player head-to-head where you are trying to tether together your astronauts. And the couple of unique things of this game, which I'm sure, you know, just some easy research will uncover this, is all the cards are kind of mirrors of themselves. So like for instance, if this is a 42, the opposite side will be a 24, right? A 55 is a 55, of course. 23 on this side will be a 32 on the other side. Now, where that comes into play is I'll try to do it this way towards the camera so you can see it. So one player is trying to play, say, horizontal, and the other player is trying to play vertically. So say it was my turn. If I'm playing the horizontal player, 22, that'd be 23, right? And we'll just say later on I had like this 24 down. So I'm trying to score this direction, while the other player, they're looking at it from the other side of the table. So they're not really seeing 22, 23. They're looking at it and seeing 42, 32, 22. In this case, 42, they could play 43. So they're trying to go lowest to highest this direction. I'm trying to go lowest to highest one direction, right? And that's the game. You obviously can, you'll be drawing, you'll be doing this, but ultimately you'll just try to make this massive grid. And when you hit certain thresholds, so you have different thresholds, they call it small, medium, large, or basically it's 6, 10, or 14 card groupings. That's what triggers the scoring criteria. So the game can end 3 different ways. Either the deck's exhausted, or more likely is someone can score a 14 card scoring criteria. And the last one is if someone gets 6 points more than another player. So those 3 ways the game can end. So you kind of trying to balance all those conditions and make sure, at least the second 2. The deck, I really didn't have that problem happen. Usually it was the 14 or the 6-point thing that ended the game. So I think those are probably more common. But I guess if nothing happens here, then I guess ultimately the game will end eventually and the deck runs out. So where does Tether rank? I think this one definitely is a pass it on. As pretty as it is, it doesn't save it. I think for me, the issue is it in your hand, you can play the cards either direction. So I feel like I was just constantly fiddling with the cards back and forth, back and forth. Even though in the corner of the cards, it has both numbers. I don't know, this one was an enjoyable puzzle for me. I'm sure some people love it. This can feel brain-burny, but the brain-burny for me was more fatigue of constantly trying to flip the numbers in my head versus trying to solve a puzzle. So it was solving a puzzle, like more of like an administration puzzle, not really like a core puzzle. So for that reason, this definitely is a pass it on for me. So it hurts because I might have to just hang it on my shelf behind me because I love looking at this box. So you might just see it in the videos in the future, but I'm getting rid of this game. Next on the list is the Roaring 20s. I mean, I'm pretty sure I bought this game just for the title. You think of the classic Roaring 20s, and then you find out it's about dinosaurs. You're like, oh, sign me up for this game. I didn't have to know much about the gameplay, honestly. And I'm always looking for like a small card game that fits well with my in-laws, just because, I mean, I'm on the end of the search. My ultimate goal, I want to find like the perfect 10 games that you can bring that can fit that kind of family atmosphere, but it's still fun for me. I mean, hopefully, eventually I'll have a video just dedicated to that. But this is another one to see if it can live into that top 10. So let's get into Roaring 20s. So Roaring 20s is a pretty easy game to explain because really at the heart it's just set collecting. You're just collecting different cards. You try to make different pairings and runs, if you will, and you're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. Because in a game, you have these dinosaur cards that you're bidding on, and you're just going to play the game until the deck's over. So you're going to play this over multiple rounds. And every round you're bidding or taking cards. And that's essentially how the game looks. Just to give you a feel for like how a round would go. So if this 8 was up first, each dinosaur has on it 2 types of food that it likes. And there's only 3 types of food in the game. So in this case, it wants like oranges and cupcakes. So in my hand, I have like 2 oranges, 1 cupcake, 1 diamond, and like a wild card, which is 1 of anything I want it to be. Diamonds in this card are just another way to bid the card. So basically it's like every dinosaur wants a diamond in this case. So when it gets to bidding, you have to decide, do you want to use your diamonds or do you want to use your food? You don't have to choose until you actually go to pay. So what it looks like, what I mean by that, is if I wanted this 8 and I have, right now I technically have, 9 in oranges. So I could bid up to 9. Actually, I have this 4 too. Sorry, it takes 2. So technically I could bid a lot of money. I could bid 9, 10, 4, up to 14 for this if I really wanted it, right? Now, some are more rare. So there's a card right here. It tells you, like, for instance, an 8. There's only 2 8s in this deck, right? So if you're trying to make a run and you have a 7 and you have a 9, you need an 8 to make that run complete. And you see another 8 on someone's table, you might go, whoa, I really need that 8. So maybe you really want to go all in on that 8. So there's a lot of little things to consider like that make this game kind of interesting. So the bidding just goes, if I wanted this one, I could say, all right, I'll bid 5 orange, right? Now they could either beat 5 orange or they can pass. In passing this game, essentially they take their mine card, and they just put it on top of one of the cards that are out. Now those cards are just random. They just happen to be 2s, but they could be 5s, wilds. It could be anything. So it's nice because if there was, happened to be like, say, a big card out there, we'll just say that 5 was there instead, then like, if you know you're not going to win the bid or you're not really sure you want to bid, probably going out and grabbing a card you need is important. But just because it's a 5, maybe you have a lot of oranges, but you don't have any greens. So when the greens come up, you're like, poop, I need to get some greens because otherwise I won't be able to bid. So maybe if you see a green out there, maybe you go for that one, for instance. I make a bid, and the bid keeps going higher and higher until someone just tops out and no one wants to bid. So once everyone passes, whoever made the last bid wins, and they would win the 8. So say I won that for 9 orange. I'll just discard 9 orange and call it a day. Now I could pay this 5 in 4, for instance, red. I can pay it any way I want if I choose to pay in food. If I want to pay in diamonds, I can pay just in diamonds. You can't mix the 2 together. So something to consider when you're playing. So in this case, I probably will just pay 9 in orange, so that way I keep my red one maybe for a featured round. So the game continues like that, going back and forth, bidding, picking up cards, so on and so forth, until you get through the entire day. And then you're going to have some cards in front of you, and you'll score them in a couple different ways. You'll score, first thing, is you'll score just the VP points of each card. At the top right corner, there's point total. For instance, these 2 are worth 5 points each, 4 points each, 3 and 2. So you just add up the strict points, and that's one aspect. So this game, it's really the highest cards and lowest cards have the highest points, but there's also a lot fewer of them, so it's a balance. Now, the next thing you would add up your pairs. In this case, I have 2 1s, so I would get 3 points for pairs. I think you get 6 points for triples. And then you score runs. In this case, I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 4-card run would give me 6 points, where a 10-card run would get me 45 points. 10 cards is a little aggressive. There is a 7 that's more likely, that's 21 points. So to help you get to the runs, though, you also have a potential joker you can use. Is your mine card has a joker on the back? You have to give someone up. In this case, I would have to give up my 1, and I can then use the joker. So maybe I can extend my run by 5. And there is 1 joker in the deck. good luck getting it, because that's definitely one people go after, because having 2 jokers is pretty powerful, so definitely something you have to balance. So we're on 20, it's definitely in a weird position for me. I enjoy the game, but I know my in-laws really enjoyed this game. So I think that pushes me over the edge to shelf it. Right, I'm going to go ahead and, I probably will definitely shelf this. It's a game where I think I'm going to draw the most enjoyment from it, is the little meta strategies of like trying to figure out, the most optimal way to collect cards. Like if you're seeing what's out there, figuring out, okay, don't go for the 8s, go for this one, go for the points here. I think there's a lot of things in there. I only played this once so far, so I'm basing it off of one play, but based off of that, I think I enjoy it. Where I think some people can turn off in this game is it will feel somewhat repetitive, but I think that's, like for instance, you are going through that entire deck. You're bidding on a card, start over, bid on a card. You're just constantly bidding on cards, right? And you're just trying to set collect that way. I think at first I was like, oh, this is kind of repetitive. But then I realized, wait a second. Since I have a distribution card that shows me all the different colors and this and that, I think there's like a little mini game there where I can start thinking ahead. Okay, I've seen this card, seen that card. I need to get more oranges. So I think there's definitely a little underlining game I could play to keep this high on my list. By any means, I would only get rid of it just because I have so many games out there. Do I need another small card box game? But I do think this one definitely stands above a lot of the other small ones I have. So for that reason, it's definitely a shelf it. Next up is High Society. And I must admit, I'm a sucker for a little Ryan Cornesia. He definitely makes it easier to buy a game, because I have so many games of his I do love. So I gotta try this one. And I know there's like an auction kind of bidding element to it, which I'm finding that I really do enjoy games like that. So I'm kind of curious how it fits into a small package like this. So let's look at it. Now this box is bananas in terms of health. It's hard to get that open. So the quick summary of High Society is you're all bidding on these different value cards. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins the game. Sort of. This is where it can get a little evil, because whoever has the least money after all the bidding's over automatically loses. So you're constantly have this tension where you obviously want to spend your money, but you don't want to be the person who spends the most money. So that is something super unique I haven't seen in a bidding game yet that made this game kind of have that like, oh, I want to at least keep at least one of my high cards, right? Like you're gifted the same amount of money as everybody else. It's like 1, 3, 12, 15, 25. Like for instance, I got one card worth 25 points, right? So we all have this card. So like, if you see someone use their 25, you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure I at least can beat them if I hold on to this card. So that right there is a lot to consider in the game before you even add in the bidding component. Now what you're bidding for are 3 different things. You got just standard number cards that are 10 of them. They go from 1 to 9. You have these, they call them like prestige cards, which are these times 2s. They basically just double your score. Or if you get 2 of them, you times by 4. If you get 3 of them, you get times by 8. So it's a nice way to get extra points if you can somehow secure them. Then you got disgrace cards. They can be a -5 points. This guy can cut your score in half. So these are bad cards. You don't want these. So we'll just go through kind of like one little bidding to show you how it works. So with a normal bid, if this is like an 8, for instance, you're bidding and only the person who wins will lose their money. So if I was to bid like, say, a 12 for that 8 and someone, they put down like a 20, let's just put 15 down. And this person put down, now this is way too high. You probably want to bid this high early in the game. But just for example's sake, let's say this person went 20 and he put down 2 cards. Because you can put down as many cards as you want. So in this case, 21. Now it comes to me. I either have to beat 21 or pass, right? I'll just pass, just for the sake of example. Say he passes and this person wins it with 21. So he would get the 8, but he now loses those money cards. There's no change in this game. So if I put down a 12 and later on I want to put down, say, like a 10 and a 10 and a 3, I can't do that. I can't take back and add back. Like if I put down a 12, I have to add to that 12, which definitely adds to another wrinkle in the game that makes it kind of interesting. The other card is like, what do you do with a bad card? So if you get like one of these negative cards, it's the opposite of how you want to bid. You're bidding to not take that card. So in this case, if I put down, say, a 4 not to take it, and he puts down, let's just say he puts down an 8, he puts down, 12. So we're basically saying, I don't want this card. Now it keeps going until someone passes. So if it gets to me, I would say, you know what, screw it, I'll take it. Because the one benefit of taking a bad card is you keep the money you bid. Everyone else loses that money. So in this case, these guys' money will be gone, And now hopefully, if I can go enough times around, maybe they lose enough money where, yeah, I'm getting -5 points, but I'm definitely up on money. So future rounds, I could have an edge. And that's it. The game continues until 4 of these blue cards show up. Once the 4th one shows up, game's over, which is another element because you don't know how long the game is going to last. Of course, if one of those blue cards is on bottom, you're going to play through all the cards. But if they're like kind of near the middle and top, you don't know quite when the game is going to end. So you don't know how conservative to be, how aggressive to be. So definitely adds yet another wrinkle. You know, Reiner, he's always trying to get us. So this is probably no surprise. This is definitely a shelf it stamp for me. I mean, I just love this game. It's so good. I mean, for a card game, it definitely gets a lot of energy going in the group. Because at first, everyone just bidding kind of whatever, but the tension comes before they know it. And then it's usually you play a second game after the first game. Oh, that game is truly tense. And not in a bad way, in a fun way. And I see, some people just don't believe you that you lose if you bid too much money. Because I've seen people just go crazy bidding on some of the good cards. Yeah, they win with the most points, but you automatically lose. So you're not eligible to win. So there's a weird balance trying to be the one who spends the most money. So yeah, definitely a shelf it for me. So pretty good. I had 3 games being shelved and 1 game being passed on. So out of these 4 games, which one are you reaching for first? Do you want to play one of these? Or maybe you guys have this game. Maybe you love it. I'd just love to hear either way. Down in the comments, tell me which game would you, if you had to pick one game to play right now, which one would it be? And thank you again. And please subscribe. I mean, it really does help this channel keep growing and being noticed by the people. So hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. It just helps out so much. I always hear people say that. I never quite understood until I started this channel. It means, now I get it. Now I get it. It really does. And it also motivates me. When I see you guys interacting with me, I'm like, yes, I want to play more games. I want to bring them more content. I want to show them more stuff. So I appreciate those out there. Keep it up. Keep it going. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.